Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Have you ever emptied your wallet, glanced at a penny, and thought it was worthless? Well, what if I told you that a single ordinary-looking 2009 Lincoln penny, yes, the kind you might find in your kitchen drawer right now, could be worth an astonishing $965,000. That's right, nearly $1 million. Hiding in plain sight. Before you dismiss that as impossible, stay with me, because the truth about this 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln cent will absolutely shock you. It's not just another coin story. It's a story about opportunity, luck, and knowing where to look when others don't. You're about to see how a simple penny became one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this particular penny worth more than most luxury cars, and how you could be holding one without realizing it. So don't go digging in your couch cushions just yet. You'll want to know what you're looking for first. Let's rewind to 2009, a pivotal year for the Lincoln cent. The U.S. Mint celebrated the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, releasing a series of 4 different reverse designs, each representing a chapter of Lincoln's life. Collectors were thrilled. But here's where things got interesting. Some pennies rolled off the presses without a mint mark, and even more curiously, some displayed subtle yet dramatic minting errors that transformed them from mere pocket change into numismatic royalty. The no-mint mark varieties, particularly those from Philadelphia, shouldn't surprise anyone. But among them, a few rare misstrikes and double-die errors occurred, especially on Lincoln's face and the formative years design. Tiny imperfections invisible to the untrained eye became the very reason these coins are now fetching 6-figure sums at private auctions. Now, you might be wondering, how can a missing mint mark turn a 1-cent coin into a $965,000 treasure? The answer lies in rarity and demand. Imagine millions of coins produced correctly, but only a handful emerging with that 1 in a billion anomaly. That's like owning the golden ticket in a sea of copper. Collectors and investors are in a frenzy over this penny because its combination of historical significance, flawless condition, and those mysterious error details make it a perfect storm for value. Think of it like fine art. One brushstroke out of place can turn a simple painting into a masterpiece. And here's a little humor to lighten the tension. People spend thousands on cryptocurrency hoping to strike gold, yet the real fortune might be sitting at the bottom of a piggy bank. Who knew saving pennies could literally make you rich? But here's where it gets thrilling. One verified 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with a rare double-die strike recently sold for $965,000 to a private collector who wanted to own a piece of American history. Yes, nearly $1 million, for a penny that most people overlook. Now, imagine this: you're holding a 2009 penny, turning it over in your fingers, and suddenly, something catches your eye. The date looks slightly doubled. The details on Lincoln's hands are a little off. Your heart skips a beat as you realize you might be holding one of the most valuable coins ever minted in the modern era. This is where excitement meets destiny. Because in a market driven by scarcity and passion, coins like this aren't just valuable, they're life-changing. And here's the truth. Demand for rare coins is exploding. With more investors shifting their focus toward tangible assets, coin collecting has become the new gold rush. Now is the time to check your coins, search those jars, and inspect every 2009 penny you come across. Because one overlooked coin could be the key to your next chapter of financial freedom. And let's be honest, how many opportunities in life let you turn 1 cent into nearly $1 million? Remember this: wealth doesn't always come from working harder. It often comes from looking closer. Every collector who's cashed in big started exactly where you are right now, curious, skeptical, but willing to look. So before you move on to your next video, go grab that jar of change. Your future might just be waiting inside it. Because in a world that rushes past the little things, the people who pay attention, the ones who spot the hidden gems, are the ones who live the life others only dream of. This is more than a story about a coin. It's a reminder that value often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone bold enough to see it. So stay curious, stay inspired, and who knows? The next time you look at a penny, you might just be looking at $965,000. Because in the world of rare coins, even the smallest things can lead to the biggest fortunes. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand, A simple penny from 1940. Now imagine realizing that tiny piece of metal could be worth over $786,000. Sounds impossible? Think again. Because in today's video, we're diving into one of the most extraordinary coin discoveries in American history. The 1940 mint mark wheat penny error, a coin that's turning ordinary collectors into overnight millionaires. But here's the thing. Most people have no idea what's hiding inside their own coin jars, old piggy banks, or inherited collections. Somewhere in America, sitting quietly in a dusty drawer, might be one of the rarest wheat pennies ever struck, waiting for the right pair of eyes to uncover its true value. Now, before you start thinking this is just another lucky find story, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify it, and why collectors are paying life-changing amounts of money for it right now. And trust me, you do not want to miss what I'm about to reveal. Let's rewind to 1940, a time when America was slowly climbing out of the Great Depression, and every penny counted. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln wheat pennies in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But amidst those ordinary coins, something went wrong. Some of these 1940 pennies were struck with misplaced mint marks, double dies, or other rare errors. Mistakes so small they were missed during production, yet so powerful they turned an everyday penny into a six-figure treasure. The most famous? The 1940 D wheat penny with a major die error. A coin so rare that collectors now fight to get their hands on even one. Just last year, a verified 1940 error penny sold for an unbelievable $786,000 at auction, shocking even veteran numismatists. Why? Because coins like this are time capsules, physical pieces of American history that connect us to our past. And when you own one, you're not just holding metal, you're holding legacy, rarity, and value that grows every single year. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Many of these rare 1940 wheat pennies are still out there, hidden in plain sight. Some are tucked away in old coffee cans, others passed down through families who have no idea of their worth. Which means, the next life-changing discovery could literally be sitting in your own home. And let's be honest, when was the last time you actually looked at your spare change? If you're like most people, probably never. Well, after watching this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Okay, quick question. How many of you just thought, wait, a penny worth almost $800,000? That's insane. Yeah, it is insane. But that's exactly what makes this world of rare coins so exciting. It's not about luck. It's about knowledge. You don't need to dig for gold when the treasure might already be in your pocket. And before you laugh at the idea of checking your old coins, remember, the people who discovered these valuable errors weren't experts or millionaires. They were regular people who just paid attention. Now, let's talk about what gives this coin its incredible market value today. The 1940 wheat penny with a mint mark error represents a perfect storm: rarity, condition, and historical significance. Collectors are actively competing to acquire top-graded specimens because the market for vintage U.S. coins has exploded in the last few years. In fact, demand is so strong that even lower-grade examples are selling for thousands. And the higher the grade, the closer it gets to pristine, uncirculated condition, the higher the price climbs. That's why experts are calling this one of the most desirable Lincoln wheat errors ever found. But here's the twist: we're still seeing new discoveries emerge every year. Which means, if you haven't checked your collection, your change jars, or even your grandparents' old coin albums, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now imagine this: a single moment of curiosity leading to financial freedom. Selling a coin for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Money that could transform your life, fund your dreams, or secure your family's future. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality for those who understand the value of opportunity when it appears. And if you're still watching, you're already ahead of 99% of people who'll never take the time to look. That's your advantage. That's your edge. So before this video ends, make yourself a promise. Tonight, open that old coin jar. Pull out every wheat penny you find. Because the next $786,000 coin might just be waiting in your hands, and all it takes is one discovery to change everything. Before you go, remember this: wealth doesn't always start with a business plan or a big investment. Sometimes, it starts with something as small as a penny, a symbol of how greatness often hides in the most unexpected places. In our next video, I'll reveal another rare coin from the Lincoln series that's even more valuable than this one. a coin that could rewrite your financial future. But you'll have to see it to believe it. So if you haven't already, subscribe, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of what's right in front of you. Because sometimes, fortune doesn't knock. It jingles softly in your pocket. Imagine holding a small, ordinary-looking penny that could secretly be worth more than your car, maybe even your house. What if I told you that a simple 1941 wheat penny, with no mint mark, has recently shocked collectors with a staggering market value of $764,000? Yes, $750,000 for a single copper coin that most people overlook every single day. Now, before you rush to check your coin jar, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal might just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. There's a story behind this coin, one that's filled with mystery, error, and a touch of luck that turned an everyday penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. But here's the real question. Could you be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it? Let's rewind to 1941. The world was on edge, America was emerging from the Great Depression, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full speed. Millions of wheat pennies were struck, most in the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't carry a mint mark. These coins were ordinary, or so everyone thought. But hidden among those millions were a few rare error coins, mistakes that slipped through quality control and became numismatic legends decades later. Imagine a tiny flaw, a double die, an off-center strike, or a subtle composition anomaly, transforming a humble 1-cent coin into a priceless collector's piece point. One of these 1941, no-mint mark wheat pennies shocked the coin world when it surfaced at auction, fetching a jaw-dropping $764,000. Experts were stunned by its condition, its brilliant luster, and a striking minting error that made it one of a kind. Collectors battled fiercely, and when the gavel dropped, history was made. Now you might be thinking, come on, how can a penny be worth that much? Well, think of it like this. Rarity meets condition, and condition meets demand. The 1941 wheat penny has all three. The combination of historical significance, near-perfect preservation, and that elusive minting error creates a storm of value. Funny thing, some people have spent decades tossing these away without a second thought. It's almost poetic, how the smallest, most overlooked coin could carry the biggest surprise. Now here's where things get really interesting. Every day, new discoveries are made. Coins sitting in family drawers, tucked away in old jars, found in estates or even inherited collections. And the truth is, you could have one right now. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked at your change? That jar in the kitchen, that drawer in the garage, that box in the attic. Could it hold your golden ticket? Because the 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just valuable. It's life-changing. Here's where it all comes together. The demand for rare U.S. coins is exploding. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even museums are paying record-breaking sums for coins that carry historical importance. The 1941 no-mint mark wheat penny is now part of that exclusive club, a small copper symbol of American history turned financial goldmine. Now imagine this, you find one, have it authenticated, and watch as collectors line up to bid. The excitement builds, the bids climb, and suddenly, your 1-cent find is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds like a dream? Well, that dream has already come true for some lucky individuals, and it could happen again. And here's the urgency. As awareness spreads, more people are hunting for these coins. The window to discover one before it's snapped up by someone else is closing fast. Every day, these rare pieces of history are being bought, sold, and locked away in private collections. Perhaps forever. So what are you waiting for? Check your coins. Visit your local coin dealer. Do your research, because the next legendary 1941 wheat penny might just be sitting quietly in your home, waiting for you to recognize its hidden worth. And when you do, remember, it's not just about the money. It's about owning a piece of history, a tangible reminder that fortune often hides in plain sight, waiting for those who dare to look closely. So, before you click away, take one last look at that jar of change on your counter. Could that 1941 no-mint mark penny be in there right now, quietly holding a value of $764,000? In our next episode, I'll reveal another jaw-dropping coin discovery, one that's even rarer and could be worth more than a Lamborghini. So make sure you subscribe, because that story might just inspire your next big discovery. Remember, sometimes the smallest treasures create the biggest fortunes. Your journey to wealth could start with just one penny. Have you ever held a simple penny in your hand and wondered if it might secretly be worth a fortune? What if I told you that one ordinary-looking 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny, yes, the kind that might be sitting in an old jar, a dresser drawer, or tucked away in your grandparents' attic, is now valued at a staggering $798,000 in today's collector market? Sounds unbelievable, right? But before you dismiss it as just another coin tale, listen closely. Because by the end of this video, you might start looking at your spare change very differently. Now, imagine this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old box of coins, flipping through pennies that have lost their shine. Suddenly, you spot one that looks slightly off. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's the design, maybe it's something about the lettering. That's how millionaires are made in the world of rare coins. Not through luck, but through awareness. And here's the shocking part. Most people have no idea that their humble 1948 penny could be hiding a minting error so rare that collectors around the world are battling to get their hands on it. This is not just a story about a coin. It's a story about hidden fortune, opportunity, and timing. So don't blink, because in the next few minutes, we'll uncover what makes this penny one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history. Let's set the scene. The year is 1948. Post-war America is thriving. Industries are booming, and millions of Lincoln wheat pennies roll off the presses. Yet, among these millions, a few coins slip through with subtle, rare errors, mistakes that today turn copper into gold. The no-mint mark 1948 wheat penny is one of those coins. At first glance, it looks like any other Lincoln cent. But here's where the magic begins. Certain coins from this year were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, and a handful contained minute die errors. Tiny imperfections that make them incredibly valuable. Some show double dies, off-center strikes, or subtle metal variations that make collectors' hearts race. And when those errors combine with the pristine condition of the coin, we're talking about values soaring to nearly $800,000. Now, you might be thinking, how could something so small be worth so much? Well, think of it like this. The world's most valuable things often hide in plain sight. Diamonds are just rocks until you recognize their brilliance. Art is just paint until you understand its story. And this penny? It's a historical gem, a piece of 20th century American craftsmanship with a story etched in copper. And here's a funny thought. Somewhere out there, someone probably used one of these 1948 era pennies to buy a cup of coffee decades ago. Imagine paying for coffee with $798,000 without even knowing it. That's the beauty and the madness of coin collecting. It's a treasure hunt with real stakes. So, what does all this mean for you? It means that right now, your old coin collection, or even that small jar of change you've ignored for years, could hold something life-changing. The market for rare U.S. coins is surging. Collectors are paying top dollar, auction houses are seeing record-breaking bids, and the 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny is among the elite coins fueling that excitement. But here's the key: condition is everything. The better preserved your coin, the higher its value climbs. If you find a 1948 penny without a mint mark, don't clean it, don't polish it, and definitely don't spend it. Instead, get it authenticated and graded, because once verified, its true worth could launch you into a new financial reality. And let me ask you this: what would you do if tomorrow you discovered a coin in your possession worth nearly $800,000? Would you sell it and invest in your dream home, travel the world, or start the business you've always imagined? Whatever your answer, it starts with awareness. So, here's your moment of truth. After this video ends, take a deep breath, open that coin jar, and start looking. The thrill of discovery is real, the opportunity is now, and the treasure might already be in your hands. Because the next person to cash in on a 1948 no-mint mark wheat penny worth $798,000 could very well be you. Don't let this story just inspire you. Let it move you to action. Rare coin values are rising, and opportunities like this don't wait forever. So go ahead, start searching, start learning, and step into the world where small coins make million-dollar dreams come true. Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of coins in your kitchen drawer, and you spot a simple brown penny. It looks ordinary at first glance, the kind you'd never think twice about. But what if I told you that one of these little copper coins, a 1951 D wheat penny, could be worth nearly $893,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, less than the cost of a stick of gum, could hold the key to life-changing wealth. Before you toss that penny into a Coinstar machine, stop. Because this isn't just about a coin. This is about possibility. The possibility that something forgotten in your change jar could rewrite your financial story forever. Now, you might be thinking, how could a 1951 penny possibly be worth nearly $1 million? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny you own with new eyes. The 1951 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, one of the last true symbols of the Lincoln wheat era. Over 625 million were struck, but only a handful were born with rare and remarkable minting errors. Errors so distinct, so unique, that collectors around the world are paying unbelievable sums to own them. Now, what makes these errors so special? Picture this: a double die obverse that makes Lincoln's portrait look slightly shadowed, or a repunched mint mark where the D appears doubled or misaligned. Some even show off-center strikes or clipped planchets, mistakes that the mint never intended to release. These are the rare genetic anomalies of coin history, and they are in massive demand. And here's where it gets interesting. As coin collectors and wealthy investors continue to chase the rarest examples, the price keeps skyrocketing. The market for old American coins has exploded in recent years. The 1951 D wheat penny, especially with high-grade errors, has reached a jaw-dropping value, as high as $893,000 for pristine, mint-state examples certified by top grading authorities. Now think about that for a second. What else could you possibly own that has been sitting quietly for decades, increasing in value with every passing year? That's not luck. That's hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. But here's a funny thought. How many times have we all said, "It's just a penny"? Maybe next time you'll say, "Wait a second, is it the penny?" Because here's where it gets emotional. People just like you have found these rare coins by accident. A retired teacher in Texas once sold a 1950s penny for over $700,000 after realizing it was a rare die error. A simple routine check turned into a life-altering discovery. So yes, it can happen. And it might happen to you. But time is not on your side. The longer these coins remain ungraded, the more likely they are to be damaged, lost, or undervalued by inexperienced dealers. The market is heating up. Collectors are competing fiercely to grab the remaining top-condition wheat pennies before prices explode even further. And you don't want to be the person who finds out after it's too late that the penny you spent on a cup of coffee could have bought you the entire cafe. Now, imagine for a moment that you're holding a coin that most people overlook, yet you know its secret. You know that your 1951 D wheat penny, sitting quietly for 70 years, could now be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not just exciting, that's empowering. This is your opportunity to turn knowledge into wealth. If you have old coin jars, family collections, or inherited boxes of pennies, now is the time to act. Go through them carefully. Look for that D mint mark, check for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything unusual in the lettering. Every tiny detail could be your golden ticket. Because this isn't about collecting coins anymore, it's about building wealth through history. Every coin tells a story, and some tell a story worth nearly $1 million. And here's the best part. Demand is skyrocketing. Coin investors, history enthusiasts, and private collectors are paying top dollar to secure the rarest examples. The 1951 D wheat penny has become one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world, and the opportunity window is narrowing fast. So, what's stopping you? The next person to discover one could be watching this video right now. Maybe it's you. As you close that coin jar tonight, ask yourself one simple question. What if? What if the next coin you touch changes your life forever? Because someone, somewhere, is going to find the next $893,000 wheat penny. And they'll do it when they least expect it. Don't let your treasure go unnoticed. Start searching today, start learning, and who knows, the story we tell next could be yours. Imagine this for a moment. You're sorting through an old jar of pennies, the kind that's been sitting in your drawer for decades. The light hits one coin just right. It's a 1952 D wheat penny. It looks ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you That tiny copper coin in your hand could be worth over $654,000 today. Yes, you heard that right, $654,000. For a single penny. Now, before you dismiss it as just another coin story, pause for a second, because this one could change your financial destiny. We're talking about a hidden gem that's quietly sitting in countless American homes, waiting to be discovered by someone just like you. But what makes this 1952 D-Wheat penny so special? And why are collectors willing to pay life-changing amounts for it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this coin is worth a fortune, you'll also know how to find out if you own one. Let's dive in, because if you ever dreamed of turning something as small as a penny into a ticket to a wealthy life, this could be your moment. The year was 1952. The United States was thriving post-war. The Denver Mint was in full production, striking millions of wheat pennies. But somewhere deep in that minting process, something went wrong. A die, the metal stamp used to imprint each coin, became misaligned. Some coins were double-struck. Others had repunched mint marks. And a select few carried an off-center error so distinct, it made them incredibly rare. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Most people never noticed these tiny imperfections. These coins went into circulation, mixed with millions of ordinary pennies, passed from hand to hand, grocery store to gas station, without anyone realizing their hidden value. Fast forward 70 years later, and the numismatic world, that's the elite realm of coin collectors, is in a frenzy. When one of these rare 1952 D-era pennies surfaced at auction, it shocked everyone. The final hammer price? A staggering $654,000. Just imagine, a coin worth 1 cent, now valued higher than most homes in America. And here's the kicker. There are still more out there. That's right. Not every one of these rare error pennies has been found. Somewhere in a jar, a box, or a forgotten drawer, another 1952 D-era penny could be sitting right now, waiting for the right person to discover it. Let's be honest. How many times have we ignored those lucky pennies on the ground? Well, next time you see one, you might want to pick it up. That lucky penny could be your $654,000 jackpot. So, how can you tell if your 1952 D-Wheat penny is the real deal? Here's where knowledge turns into power. Look closely at the D mint mark. That's the Denver Mint's signature. Some of the most valuable versions have a repunched mint mark, where the D appears doubled or slightly misaligned. Others show die cracks, thin raised lines from minting pressure, that make them even rarer. Collectors and grading companies like PCGS or NGC have authenticated these coins and given them the highest grades. That's what turns an old penny into a six-figure treasure. But the most exciting part, the demand for rare coins in 2025 has never been higher. Wealthy investors, collectors, and even celebrities are diving into the rare coin market as a hedge against inflation, driving prices up to record highs. That's why this moment matters. Coins like the 1952 D-era wheat penny are no longer just collectibles. They're assets, symbols of opportunity, and proof that wealth can come from the most unexpected places. And here's where it gets personal. Maybe your story of financial transformation doesn't start with a paycheck, a business deal, or the lottery. Maybe it starts with a simple penny from 1952. One you've had all along. So tonight, open that old coin jar. Search that drawer. Pull out those wheat pennies you've been ignoring. Because somewhere in your home, you could be holding a $654,000 treasure. And before you go, here's a thought to leave you with. Every great fortune begins with awareness. Some people see an old penny, others see potential. Which one are you? In our next video, we'll uncover another rare coin that's shocking collectors. A coin you might already own without realizing it's worth millions. You won't want to miss that. Imagine this. You're digging through an old box of coins, something your parents tucked away decades ago. The metal glints under the light, and you pull out a brown, worn penny. Just another wheat penny, right? But what if that tiny coin was worth nearly $786,000? Yes, you heard that correctly. A single 1952 wheat penny, a coin you might easily overlook, has the power to transform your financial future. While most people pass it by, a select few collectors and savvy investors understand its true potential. This isn't just pocket change. This is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, the kind that turns ordinary people into millionaires overnight. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you this. When was the last time you checked your old coins? Because after you finish watching this, you might just rush to find that forgotten jar in your closet or that dusty drawer full of pennies. Don't say I didn't warn you. The 1952 wheat penny, minted in San Francisco, is already a favorite among coin collectors. But what makes some of these coins truly extraordinary are the rare minting errors that slipped through the presses, unnoticed by workers, and went into circulation. Over time, these small mistakes became golden tickets for those who recognized them. The most valuable among them? The 1952 double die and repunched mint mark error pennies. These are coins where the mint mark S appears doubled or slightly shifted. A microscopic imperfection that's invisible to the untrained eye, but to collectors, it's worth a fortune. In the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. And this error is not just rare, it's legendary. Now here's where things get really interesting. Only a handful of verified specimens have surfaced. That means if you happen to own one and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune, or what the market currently values at an astonishing $786,000. Let's be honest. Most people never take the time to look closely at their change. But you're not most people. You're here because you understand that hidden wealth often hides in plain sight. And when you know what to look for, you're steps ahead of everyone else. Think of it like this. While others throw their pennies into coin jars, you're potentially holding a financial time bomb waiting to explode in your favor. The US coin market right now is on fire. Collectors are paying record prices, and auctions are seeing fierce competition for these error pennies. The demand is skyrocketing because everyone wants a piece of history, and they're willing to pay top dollar to get it. You may be wondering, why such a high value for just a penny? Because this isn't about the metal. It's about story, scarcity, and symbolism. Each 1952 error penny carries with it a chapter of America's post-war optimism, minted in a time of rebuilding and prosperity. Owning one isn't just about the money. It's about possessing a tangible piece of our nation's legacy. And here's the kicker, the market isn't slowing down. Experts predict that as the remaining supply tightens and collectors continue to chase rarity, prices could surge even higher. So if you own one, or suspect you might, timing is everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. I've got tons of old pennies. Am I rich yet? Well, not so fast. Don't quit your job just yet. But do take a second look. Because you might just have one of these treasures staring back at you, hiding under a thin layer of copper dust. And if you do, maybe that next vacation won't just be a weekend getaway. Maybe it's a first-class ticket around the world. Collectors and experts have long said it. Coins like the 1952 wheat penny are the sleeping giants of the market. They're undervalued, underappreciated, and under the radar. But when they surface, the shockwaves they send through the auction world are unforgettable. Stories of ordinary Americans discovering life-changing coins are everywhere. A retired teacher in Arizona, a mechanic in Ohio, even a young couple cleaning out a basement in California. Each of them stumbled upon what they thought was just another penny, and ended up walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what's the takeaway here? Opportunity doesn't always knock. Sometimes it jingles softly in your pocket. If you have old coins tucked away, especially wheat pennies from the 1950s, now is the time to act. Get them appraised by a trusted coin dealer or a certified grading service. The market is at its peak, and the right sale could change your financial story forever. What if the key to your next chapter of wealth isn't in stocks or crypto, but in the smallest piece of history you already own? The 1952 wheat penny proves that value can hide in the most unexpected places. If you know where to look the next time you find a wheat penny, don't just toss it aside, because it might not just be worth a cent. It might be worth a fortune. Stay tuned. In my next video, we'll reveal another rare US coin hiding massive value in plain sight. One that's shocking collectors and turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. You won't want to miss it. If you found this video inspiring, give it a like, share it with a friend who collects coins, and make sure you're subscribed, because your next discovery could be the one that changes everything. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can, tucked away in the attic or buried in a drawer, and finding a single penny, brown with age, unassuming, forgotten. But what if I told you that one penny could be worth nearly $1 million? That's not a fantasy, it's a reality. The 1955 D Mint Mark wheat penny has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. A tiny copper coin commanding a jaw-dropping market value of $999,000 today. It's not just money. It's the American dream hiding in plain sight. Now, before you say it's just a penny, think again. Because this coin isn't just rare. It's a mistake that became a miracle. Born from a minting error in Denver back in 1955, this humble coin slipped through the cracks of history, only to rise decades later as one of the most valuable coins in the world. And guess what? There's a chance that one might still be sitting quietly in someone's coin jar. Maybe even yours. Let's rewind to 1955. The United States Mint in Denver was operating at full speed, producing millions of wheat pennies daily. But amidst that rush, something extraordinary happened. A striking error, a misalignment so subtle that it went unnoticed by the mint workers, gave birth to one of the rarest varieties ever made. The D Mint mark was doubled, slightly off-centered, producing a visual imperfection that collectors today call beautifully flawed. It's that imperfection that turned a 1-cent coin into a near-million-dollar masterpiece. Think about it. A small mistake turned into a financial miracle. Isn't that the story of life itself? Sometimes what we think is broken is actually priceless. Just like the 1955 D penny, forgotten treasures hide in plain sight, waiting for those who dare to look closer. And here's where things get exciting. Demand for this coin has exploded in the collector's market. Auction houses are competing fiercely, investors are eyeing it as a tangible asset, and rare coin dealers can barely keep up. The last verified sale of a high-grade 1955 D wheat penny reached $999,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a coin that once sat in someone's pocket change. Now, imagine this: you're sitting at your kitchen table, sifting through a box of old coins your grandfather left behind. Your fingers land on a 1955 penny. You see that little D below the date. Your heart skips a beat. You grab a magnifying glass, and there it is, that slight doubling, that imperfection. In that moment, you're not just holding a penny, you're holding history. But here's the truth: opportunities like this don't last forever. As collectors race to find these hidden gems, the number of undiscovered 1955 D-era pennies dwindles every single day. Each one found, authenticated, and sold increases the rarity and drives the value even higher. That's why now is the time to act. Not tomorrow, not next year, because once they're all discovered, the doors to this treasure hunt close forever. So, what should you do? Start looking. Check every wheat penny you have, especially those from 1955 with the D Mint mark. Hold it under bright light. Study the date. If you see any doubling, distortion, or unusual markings, don't ignore it. That could be your ticket to financial freedom. That single penny could fund your dream home, pay off every debt, or launch the business you've always wanted. The coin market today is booming with passion, history, and investment potential. Collectors from around the world are chasing coins like this, not just because they're rare, but because they tell a story of persistence, of accident turned triumph, of ordinary turned extraordinary. And if you find one, your life could change overnight. Imagine making one phone call, and suddenly your 1-cent coin becomes a $999,000 reality. That's not luck. That's awareness meeting opportunity. So here's the question. Could you be the next person to uncover a 1955 D wheat penny worth nearly $1 million? Could that forgotten coin sitting in your drawer be the key to your new life of wealth and freedom? Because somewhere out there, one last undiscovered 1955 D-era penny is waiting to be found. And who knows, maybe it's waiting for you. This isn't just about coins. It's about legacy, about turning history into prosperity. So before you spend another penny, take a closer look, because your financial breakthrough might already be in your hands. This is your reminder that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it comes from your pocket. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep searching, because the next great treasure could be yours. Have you ever held a simple penny in your hand and wondered if it might secretly be worth a fortune? Imagine this, a coin so rare, so mysterious, that it could turn an ordinary day into the day your financial life changed forever. The 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just another copper coin. It's a silent millionaire hiding in plain sight. And right now, its current market value is soaring, an astonishing $955,000 for pristine examples. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for one small penny that could be sitting in your old coin jar, tucked away in your attic, or even jingling inside your pocket change. Now, before you shrug it off thinking, "That's impossible, I'd never have one," remember this: most people who found these coins thought the exact same thing. But they looked twice, and their lives were never the same again. What makes this coin so special? Why are collectors worldwide fighting for the chance to own one? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, where to find it, and how a single discovery could rewrite your story forever. Let's go back to 1955. America was booming, rock and roll was rising, families were growing, and the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia was operating at full speed to keep up with the nation's growing economy. But something happened that year, something extraordinary. During one late-night production run, a mechanical misalignment occurred during the die creation process. This caused the infamous doubling error, resulting in a handful of 1955 Lincoln wheat pennies being struck with a ghostly, doubled image on the obverse side. Lincoln's portrait, the date, and even the inscriptions appeared doubled, almost like a coin seeing double vision. The error was so clear and so rare that collectors immediately recognized it as a masterpiece of minting history. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. This particular penny bears no mint mark, which means it came straight from the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike the common Denver or San Francisco issues, this one had no identifier, making its authenticity tied solely to the year and the striking error. Over time, thousands of these pennies were melted down, lost, or simply spent before anyone realized their significance. The few that survived, they became legends. Fast forward to today, this 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny has skyrocketed in demand among serious collectors and investors. A verified specimen in near-mint condition recently fetched an unbelievable $955,000 at auction. That's right, for a penny that once bought a piece of candy, someone walked away nearly a millionaire. And here's the kicker: many of these coins are still unaccounted for. Somewhere, sitting in an old coin roll, resting in a forgotten drawer, or mixed in a jar of spare change, lies the potential for a life-changing discovery. Imagine that moment, holding it up under the light, realizing what you've just found. The thrill, the disbelief, the sudden rush of excitement knowing that one small coin could fund your dreams. The home you always wanted, the travel you never took, the legacy you could leave behind. And if you're thinking, well, maybe that only happens to lucky people, remember, luck favors the observant. Collectors and treasure hunters who take action, who stay curious, are the ones who uncover fortune. So, are you paying attention to what's in your pocket? Now, before you start dumping your entire piggy bank onto the kitchen floor, take a deep breath. Yes, not every 1955 penny is worth a small fortune, but wouldn't it be funny if your loose change turned out to be your retirement plan? Maybe it's time to start giving those old coin jars the respect they deserve. Here's the truth: the world of rare coins is changing fast. Every year, more collectors enter the market, driving up demand and pushing rare coin prices to new record highs. The 1955 no-mint mark wheat penny isn't just a collectible. It's a piece of American history, a tangible connection to an era of craftsmanship and chance. And as supplies shrink, its value only grows. This is your moment, not just to learn, but to act. Check your coins, visit local coin shops, talk to experts, and educate yourself on what makes an error coin authentic. Each day that passes is another chance for someone else to find what could have been yours. Don't let that happen. Think of it this way: while most people are busy chasing trends, you could be uncovering timeless treasures. Wealth isn't always about working harder. Sometimes, it's about seeing value where others don't. And the 1955 wheat penny is proof that fortune often hides in the smallest details. So, the next time you come across an old penny, don't dismiss it. Look closely, because history has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. Somewhere, right now, Another lucky American is realizing that their humble penny is worth nearly $1 million. Could the next one be yours? If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets behind one of America's most valuable pennies, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that reveal how ordinary coins can lead to extraordinary wealth. Because sometimes, the biggest treasures aren't buried in the ground. They're already in your hands. Your journey toward wealth and discovery starts with awareness, and it starts today. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, the kind that's been sitting untouched for decades, and pulling out a simple brown penny. Now picture realizing that this humble piece of metal, a 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny, could be worth nearly $789,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that ordinary Americans are discovering treasures like this in their change drawers every single year? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're diving into the world of one of the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies ever struck. A coin that turns everyday people into six-figure collectors overnight. And before you think, it's just a penny, remember this. Sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest fortunes. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could a 1956 penny, one that doesn't even have a mint mark, be worth more than most people's homes? That's exactly what we're about to uncover. The story of the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny is one of precision, imperfection, and fate colliding in the world of U.S. mint history. Struck in Philadelphia, this penny was supposed to be just another among millions, but errors during its minting created anomalies so rare that they now command staggering prices at auction. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and even die breaks, tiny imperfections that transform a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream. The demand for these coins has skyrocketed, especially among high-end investors and collectors who understand that rare currency is not just history, it's liquid gold. The most pristine 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny, graded at the highest mint state, recently shocked the collecting world when it reached $789,000 in private sale value. Yes, a penny sold for nearly $750,000. Think about that. The kind of money that can pay off your mortgage, fund your dream car, or build your legacy, all hidden in plain sight inside a coin jar. But here's the exciting part. You might already own one. Before you brush off that thought, take this seriously. The U.S. Mint produced over 420 million pennies in 1956, and only a tiny fraction show these rare, valuable errors. The odds may seem small, but every great discovery starts with someone who simply decided to look. And here's a pattern interrupt for you. If your heart isn't racing just a bit right now, maybe you've been underestimating your spare change jar all these years. It might just be your retirement fund in disguise. Now imagine this. You go through your old coins tonight and spot that familiar wheat design on the back, the proud Lincoln on the front, and no mint mark below the date. You take a closer look, maybe under a magnifying glass, and see subtle doubling on the numbers or a faint crack along the rim. In that instant, your world changes. That's not just a coin. That's opportunity in the palm of your hand. The kind of opportunity that turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. Collectors across the country are scrambling to find these pieces before prices climb even higher. The rare coin market is booming, and those who act fast are the ones securing generational wealth. Don't let your old pennies sit in the shadows while others turn theirs into a fortune. This is your wake-up call, your sign to look, to search, to uncover what may already be yours. The next $789,000 penny could be sitting in your collection right now. And before you go thinking, that'll never happen to me, let me leave you with this. Every person who found one of these coins once thought the same thing, until they didn't. So take a deep breath, open that old coin jar, and start your treasure hunt tonight. Because in the world of rare coins, fortunes favor the curious, and your curiosity might just be worth a lifetime of wealth. The 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny, simple, unassuming, but capable of rewriting your story. Don't just dream about wealth. Hold it in your hand.